Hey guys, it's your favorite Donabot here, and sorry this took so long to upload to you guys. I've been busy. I've been working on the Fatalis scaling video where I'll be going from Black Fatalis to Crimson Fatalis, and it just took me a while here. So today is more or less an analysis. We're going to be answering, is this a fair fight? And yes, we will also be going into who do I think wins more often than not. And if they turn out to be very equal to each other, then this goes on to who wins more often than not. So without further ado, let's begin. The World Serpent itself here has actually welcomed himself, or basically the kaiju community has welcomed the World Serpent with open arms ever since his debut in God of War. Finding out the lore on how powerful this big snake is something frightening altogether. The sheer fact that this big old snake got beef, a whole blood feud. Now again, it is very understandable as the World Serpent was born through, well, Loki's magic putting a giant soul, a giant that had beef with Thor, by the way, into a snake. And we're going to be seeing if this big old snake can take on this big old manifestation of the planet's will, Godzilla Earth. So without further ado, let's begin. So it's very simple how we're going to do this here. Feats, the analysis itself, and then obviously the conclusion on who I think wins more often than not, right? And what really inspired this video was actually this animation here, and I thought, yo, this would be a good video, excuse me, for Wave 6. So we're gonna just analyze their feats, see where they tier, and then we're gonna just, do what we normally do. Analyze the information, get the feats and everything, and boom, we'll see who wins at the very end, right? So without further ado, let's begin. I hope you guys enjoy today's gameplay. It's a very old evolved game. Well, evolved gameplay, excuse me here. And we're going to be talking about Godzilla Earth first, since I've done him more than I have done the World Serpent. So without further ado, hope you guys enjoy. So where would Godzilla Earth scale exactly when it comes down to it? Well, it's, in my opinion, I think it's pretty simple where he scales here. He's easily in the complex multiversal margin. Now, the reason why I say that is because he does not scale fully to Void Ghidorah. And Void Ghidorah is able to bend supergravity and is a higher dimensional being. Now, you might say legendary. Why is that complex multiversal? How does it get there? Well, let's talk about it, right? Godzilla Earth does have the feats to blow up and push back and even breach the following. So he blows up the singularities to the point where there's just his atomic breath, or his electromagnetic atomic breath, right? It's able to just rip through and just destroy these singularities. It also bypasses, apparently, the space-time barrier of Void Ghidorah. Void Ghidorah himself is a higher dimensional entity from a destroyed universe. A universe that was destroyed by him. And it's very apparent, and it might be even confirmed, that he's destroyed multiple universes with other Godzillas in them. Now again, this is a rumor, but it is very possible, considering the sheer fact that in the novelization and even in the movie, they stated that he has destroyed a universe before. And is supposed to be more powerful than Mothra, who's able to illuminate the entire universe. So yeah, this Ghidorah is absolutely no joke. Even if you want to say the whole supergravity meta isn't, applicable in any way here for somehow, then again, this still gets this Ghidorah to, at the very least, Universal Plus. At the very least. And again, we will be going over both the high ends and low ends for both characters, so it's not bad at all here. And the thing about it is here, the hyperversal scaling is really because of the supergravity. With supergravity being, 12th dimensional. It's the same way with Heisei Godzilla, where space, or well, with Space Godzilla being able to bend supergravity, excuse me. And Heisei Godzilla not only grows stronger than that, but is eventually able to beat that. if you get what I mean here. So I don't see any reason why it's not applicable to Void Ghidorah. Him being able to use super gravity to consume entire planets and stars, and again destroy an entire universe likely with it, to the point where he's able to bend space and time, to the point where he could just reflect whatever he wants. He can create these singularities. He's able to excuse me, he's able to do whatever he wants here. Now you might say, okay, Legendary, why doesn't Godzilla Earth fully scale to him? This is because of the Exif Eye. The Exif Eye is an anchor point for Void Ghidorah to interact or to come into the dimension with his higher dimensional properties. That being, since he's from a much higher plane, he's intangible. However, destroying the Exif Eye makes Void Ghidorah tangible, and it allows Godzilla to not only wreck him, but even rip parts of him off and just slaughter him altogether. So the final scale here would be complex multiversal. I think it's very simple. I think it's very self-explanatory. All you really have to do is drop Godzilla Earth down a tier from Void Ghidorah. Okay, it's very simple. He's able to blast through his space-time defenses. He's able to destroy his singularities on multiple occasions. And he's able to interact and destroy his weaker, tangible form. Alright, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. But let's move on to his opponent, the World Serpent. Now, there is some controversy with the World Serpent scaling. Not excuse me, not when he scales to, Thor and stuff, because again, he is meant to kill Thor at the end of Ragnarok and God of War while he gets BFR'd. Kind of a funny deal, ain't it? But the sheer fact that not only he's able to go toe-to-toe with Thor, but you could possibly scale Thor to Kratos. Now again, I understand that is contentious, but let's get this over with, right? The World Serpent is able to go toe-to-toe with Thor to such a degree, to such a... I guess you could say such a large degree of scale here. The ferocity, the power they had when they were both younger is so titanic. The battle they had was so titanic, that they shook the 9 realms and splintered the world tree. Now, this is important because all the 9 realms are confirmed to be infinite-sized universes. So, Thor and the World Serpent shook all the 9 realms. They shook an entire multiverse. They shook their entire cosmology to the point where they splintered it, and it just sent the World Serpent back in time, right? Now, this is where it kind of gets important because Kratos has his complex multiversal scaling as well. Now, this is actually pretty important because Kratos has beaten gods that have been able to stop the concept of chaos, or beat beings that pretty much created the entire universe itself, or at least the Greek side of it, creating infinite layered hierarchies and everything. And what I find very interesting about it is here, Thor is considered to be extremely dangerous to Kratos here. Now you might say Kratos is weaker, you could argue he's stronger. I understand both sides of the arguments. I really do. Because Kratos had all these amps in the Greek pantheon. He had multiple amps from God of War 1, God of War 2, and then God of War 3. And then here he comes to Asgard or Midgard or whatever, and it's a completely different Kratos, but you can tell he's holding back. You can tell he's trying to be a better person here. Now, you might say, does the World Serpent scale to Kratos? And I would say that's a bit more contentious due to a couple things here. Number one is the sheer fact that the Kratos, or that Kratos in general, actually does utilize the World Serpent's venom. Okay? Remember, when Kratos threw his axe and it came back, the World Serpent's venom was also on his axe here. What makes this important is that the World Serpent's axe, the axe that Kratos was using, now can nullify the Aesir's healing factor, basically bypassing their durability. It's the reason why Magni couldn't heal and was seemingly paralyzed after Kratos cut him once, or at least twice, with the axe before dealing the finishing blow. That was the effect of the World Serpent's venom, which was pretty much meant to bypass the healing factor of the gods. And then you have him scaling to Thor continuously, being able to take hits from him and being able to eventually kill him with his venom. So, with that being said, here, the final skill for the World Serpent is also complex multiversal, considering he is able to shake and help shatter, or basically shatter in a clash, a primordial object that exists far beyond the likes of space and time. Huh. You know, that's actually pretty interesting. I thought the World Serpent would actually cap at multiversal, to be honest. So that means the final results here for both of them is that they are both of equal tier, which is actually pretty interesting, meaning that Godzilla Earth and the World Serpent are both equal when it comes to their tier here. Godzilla Earth being complex multiversal, and the World Serpent itself also being in that complex multiversal category. Huh. So if that's the case, then I think that just wraps up the video, right? Shoot, we're done. we ain't got nothing left, right? Ah, wait, we do. We gotta wonder who wins more often than not. Who takes the cake? Who wins, the giant snake or the giant mutant plant monster, right? So, what advantages do each one have here? Well, I think the World Serpent actually has the hacks advantage, while Godzilla does have the long range abilities and stuff here, like the super oscularity wave. His electromagnetic atomic breath definitely is doing some damage here. However, the World Serpent can easily bypass that with his venom. And don't get me wrong, the World Serpent is, I would probably say, is physically stronger than Godzilla Earth here, because he has a lot more physical feats of overpowering things like other giants, being able to contend with beings like Thor, someone who's actually on his level. And again, I do think the venom that he possesses should be able to bypass Godzilla Earth's healing factor. However, Godzilla Earth has way too many long-ranged attacks for there to be a significant winner here. The World Serpent, I would probably say, is faster than light or immeasurable levels of speed here. He has to be to keep up with someone like Thor, who's able to keep up with Kratos, someone who's able to easily dodge and actually outpace time manipulators while their time is in full effect. Yeah, I think the World Serpent should be faster than light to immeasurable levels of speed here. However, the issue is that Godzilla Earth can just range bomb him repeatedly, blasting him with his atomic breath or his electromagnetic atomic breath or the super oscularity wave, wearing down the World Serpent until, well, he can get the win over the World Serpent. However, all the World Serpent really has to do is close that distance just in time, because he, again, physically stronger and far better combat adapted, and get the win over Godzilla. So that's going to be all today, you guys. 50-50, but I lean toward Godzilla Earth first. Y'all have a blessed day, and I'll see you guys for the next video. Peace.